We'll see where it goes.
Here we go. We're gonna get into some geek stuff. Don had some stuff to say about Superman. some
Superman.
some more stuff to
I
say.
I fully intended to get on the discussion with the Batman shirt on. I had it earlier. You can go look at my son's Facebook and see the picture. But no, I changed it a little bit late. But got a couple things to talk to you about Superman. So first, the kind of debate thing, arguably, okay, and I think uh, it's pretty clear. Superman is the most recognized superhero, uh, I want to say across the entire world, and arguably the most popular. And no shade to Batman and stuff like that. He would be second, really, even to that. And I know a lot of people say Spider Man. So we'll get into this, but I'll tell you why I say that. I'll tell you why I say it, where my empirical evidence is surveys, because I watched the Family Feud compilation of superhero things. They were asking questions about superheroes, and it was Superman was the number one answer every single time. Batman was normally right underneath him, and it might be Spider Man. The Hulk would show up sometimes. They said Captain America four times as an answer. Didn't show up one
Mm,
time on
yeah.
any of those surveys they had. I was like, whoa, that's pretty interesting there. Wonder Woman also showed up pretty high a couple of times, but Superman was just always number one answer, number one answer. Maybe it's just America. Maybe it's just America, the number one. And I know that Batman like has so many different runs and he outsells them, but this latest change to number one seemed to have gone off the rails, right? I quit trying to collect anything of it. So, but anyway, you have any response to that just to begin the cultural war?
So I would as much as Batman is my favorite hero, I'm not a huge I don't dislike Superman, and I've said this before. He's just always been a slightly boring character for me. Not that Superman is a bad character. He has his interesting moments and great comic books. I have some of them. Batman has just always been for me. There's just there's a certain realism. It's a comic book. None of it is real, but there's a
Yeah.
certain realism to Batman that I've always loved. But I won't I'm not naive. The Superman logo is probably one of the most recognized logos globally. There's probably not many countries you can go into. You could probably go into the poorest of the most third worldist country on a planet Earth and you have a Superman shirt on, and some little kid is going to say, Superman. So I won't deny that. I
Yeah.
won't deny that. And I would say it'd be hard for me to argue that Spider-Man is number two. I think most comic book fans would agree Superman and Batman are one and two. Now we could debate, there's probably some debate on which one is one and which one is two. But I don't think
Mhm.
it is personally, I don't think it's debatable that Spider-Man is number two. But I do think Spider-Man is solid number three. I think it would be Superman. I'm okay with Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. Captain America, I think I would put the Incredible Hulk before Captain America as
Recognizable.
far
Yeah.
as recognizable heroes. But and maybe I'm bugging. I would say because of the MCU, Iron Man is definitely a
Hmm.
recognized hero, but I'd say that's recent. That's because of the MCU. So
Hmm.
one, two, and three,
Sure.
Superman, Batman. I'd say Batman, Superman, Spider Man, but that's just me though.
All right. And I showed you in a picture that I have. I'll pull it out real quick. The I guess it's the first six issues, right, of Absolute Batman. I've not read this yet though, so I do not know what to think about it at all.
it's
Um,
it's good. It's good.
I everybody says that, and
It's
that's
really
great.
good.
So, but I also have, and you saw this, is Absolute
Absolute
Superman,
Superman.
which you have said is absolute trash or something to
I
that
didn't.
effect.
Okay, so let me redeem myself. It's not
Okay.
trash, but because I am not the biggest Superman guy, Absolute Superman didn't jump out to me. The book itself, like visually, the book was pleasing. The story was okay. I just wasn't wowed. I'm a Batman guy, so
Mhm.
Absolute Batman, I was like, oh yeah, this is Snyder is killing it. He is killing it. Absolute Batman is dope. And you have to go into it knowing this is an alternate universe. Obviously, things are
Mhm.
different. The Batman, this is not him. This is a different Batman. Some of the same
Right.
characteristics, but definitely different.
All right. And since I haven't read the Absolute Batman, I did want to go into the Superman one because I think one of your criticism was this is not Superman, and and I kind of want to get the second book to see where they're going because to me it's not super defined yet because I'm still trying to figure out what the thing is. Like the suit he wears, he talks to it, and it has it does certain things which I'm not very clear. I wasn't, at least when I read through it, it wasn't super clear. And of course, it goes back and forth between his time on Krypton, and he doesn't spend much time on the Kent farm. So there's definitely a difference in the origin, and he's uh, maybe a teenager even when he leaves Krypton. I forget. It tells the years because he was
Yeah, I have to
flying
read
through
through it
space for
again.
a number of years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a couple
so he's
months.
definitely older, and and the Krypton part of the story is a little is let's say if we compared it to Man of Steel the movie, you can see some definite different things being said, and uh I don't know. At times I felt like it was getting too political. It's at certain things, but also I could see a society behaving the way that they're saying that it was.
Yeah,
So I was like,
yeah,
okay, I
it's
can buy into
believable.
this.
Yeah, it was
It's
believable.
okay, and yeah, and not to I don't want to spoil anything for anybody other than saying that one thing that or two things I guess. Um, But yeah, it's like I'm not sure where it's going yet, and I'm not so turned off on it that I would not read the rest of it or the next part, but I'm not like engaged in it.
S-
I went through and reread John Burns, remake in the '80s, and I was reading that. That was what I was into, and I love it, and nostalgia or whatever. But it's still just a great story
John
and a
Burns is
great
the master artist and
retelling.
storyteller, so it's kind of hard to. I don't want to. I wouldn't want to compare too many artists and writers to him. Not that artists aren't good. I'm not saying that, but this the combo artist writer combo. He's one of those
Yeah.
guys that's just like, yeah, it's hard to beat this. It's hard to beat that. And I guess what you pointed out was where I was with that first Superman book. It just nothing about it said, okay, come back for issue number 2. When I read
Okay.
Absolute Batman number 1, it was like, oh, I
That's why I
have to
bought it
read.
this way.
Yeah, and
Like
I
I don't
should
want
have.
one comic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
should have. And typically, so I haven't consistently collected Absolute Batman because my collecting habit now has been if I read a series and I read like 5 books and I'm like, okay, this is good, I stop and I start buying the trade paperbacks. That's what I do. That's what I've done with Transformers. I got the first 2 trade paperbacks for Skybound's Transformers, and Lord willing, at some point, I'm going to buy the third one because those books are fantastic. Those are, Don, I'm telling you, if you want to read something that's going to keep you engaged and knock your socks off, Skybound's Transformers run. Energon Universe,
Yeah. Told me that
man,
before, yeah.
man,
Mm.
that's some good, the art, the reading, the action, 100% high octane the entire time. Never lets his foot off the gas.
All right. So let's see here. Not really much more to say about this then. And I may or may not go back to it. I'm kind of at that. I'm like, I don't know where I'm with it. I can do without it. You know. Um,
So
but if
and
I do
that's
go back to it and it turns out it really catches on, uh, then I'll let you know. Something about it
and
later
that's
on.
the
But
issue for me. The fact that it didn't grab you right away is
okay.
so when I said it doesn't feel like Superman, it wasn't necessarily the story. Like even though I'm not a Superman guy, I can recognize when I read certain Superman comics, like, oh, I get it. I get it. Like if I was a Superman guy, I'm coming back. Like this is a good story. The absolute
Yeah.
Superman just I was like, this doesn't feel like a Superman. Like Superman is this big, like this is the guy. The guy. I think they probably should have put, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe they should have put Snyder on Absolute Superman, but I don't know who else they could have got for Absolute Batman.
Yeah. I do agree with you. The artwork is really good.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, but for somebody that's a Superman fan, and like it's focused more. It's got a lot of focus on Krypton. I mean, it is telling the Krypton story the whole way through almost.
a lot more than you
So
typically get.
yeah, like in Burns' run, it was like the first, and then it came in later, but he got right into Superman. Second thing was Lois Lane, and then Lex Luthor.
Right.
He went right into Superman. So um, it has a lack of focus, I guess, on Superman. It's kind of making him more mysterious, which could be good. I mean, then that could be intriguing to some people. I'll just have to follow it through, and of course, Lois is a little different. Uh, uh, but and it has the Peacemaker core, and so Peacemaker, whatever his name is, John something or another,
John Cena.
Smith, I guess. Yeah, John Cena, John Smith,
Oh, you're
Jason.
talking
I
about the
don't know what his
actual
name is.
the actual character.
The actual
Yeah.
character,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
My
There's
bad.
there's this crew of Peacemaker. I guess they show up in. Well, they show up toward. I don't know. I want to say it's in the first one, but it's a little bit later. More. Um, but it kind of that character is not a great character. It's a really terrible character, in fact. So anyway, I don't know what they're following with that because Peacemaker is a really obscure thing. So
I understand why people like
um,
Peacemaker. He's not my cup of tea, but it's kind of like Superman. Superman's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I understand why people like him.
you're talking about the James Gunn version, which is all there is
Well, I
with the
mean,
two seasons and the
I mean
one
just
show.
Peacemaker in general, like just him as a character. There's certain characters.
That's what I'm saying. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't remember him being in anything at all.
let me
And
see.
when I looked up his history, it was like old, obscure, and I don't know of him as anything. He's not part of Argus and part of. I don't know him as part of the Suicide Squad, but I never followed the Suicide
Me
Squad
neither. I can't say.
until James Gunn did this movie and then the two seasons.
Says he first appeared in Charlton
Yeah.
Comics and Fighting Five number 40, 1966. Let me see. DC acquisition. In the mid 1980s, DC Comics acquired Charlton Comics character, incorporated him into the universe, but reinterpreted him. Okay, so I guess maybe in the 80s, I'll have to fact check all of this. I don't know. I'm just doing a cursory look.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know much
Yeah,
about.
I looked at his history and it just seemed it's minor, is what it
Yeah,
is, and I I just don't know him as a major character, but he's more major in this, whatever version they're going with and heading toward. And Of course, it's all something to find out because it's a different universe. I don't know if Absolute Batman deals with stuff over in Metropolis. I get it's not
I
necessarily
think they
Metropolis either.
I think they do. I think they kind of interact later because like I haven't kept up with the whole Absolute universe. I think I got Absolute Wonder Woman number 1 and 2, or maybe just number 1, and Absolute Superman number 1. And those are two books that I just couldn't really didn't grab me per se, so I didn't really pick them
Yeah,
up.
Wonder Woman
Yeah,
also.
I may pick up the trade paperbacks just to see if maybe there's something I missed. But Absolute Batman is the only one I've really followed. But following some different comic book channels that talk about these, I want to say they do interact. I know Absolute Batman at some point is interacting with Absolute Wonder Woman, and I think
Mm-hmm.
they're forming the
So that
Absolute Justice League. So
okay.
yeah, I haven't. Again, I am not the authority. I have not kept up with this, for the people out there, so I cannot tell you exactly. It's it is. I don't go to the comic book store every Wednesday, so
Mm-hmm.
I got priorities and other things going on in life, so I'm not going every Wednesday. I try to keep up as much as possible. Now, there's some that I will just buy digital copies if I'm like, no, I'm keeping up with this. I'll buy digital copies and then get the physical books later on. So, but yeah,
Well, if you had collected a few issues of the first one, first printing, because there are like 17 printings of the absolute runs of Batman,
they are
not
popular.
necessarily the other ones.
They are
He's
popular.
definitely the one that's very popular. But I've heard good things about it, so like I said, I'll get into it a little later. I
Snyder's a great writer.
decided to hold off on Wonder Woman for a while. I saw an absolute Flash and Green Lantern, I think,
I have
um,
Absolute
in some
Flash
trades.
number 2 or number 1, because there's a bunch of number 1s that I bought when they came out because I was like, I'm gonna check this out. And that one, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got a backlog of books that I haven't read yet. That's one of them that I've had for a while, and it's
Me
just
too.
sitting in my stash, and I'm like, I'll get to it at some point.
Yep, some
Other
point.
stuff going on. Did you say? I don't know if you said you did say you saw the Mario movie. You saw it several times.
I saw it twice. Okay, so my story is that if I eat something, I go into a diabetic coma or something and fall asleep. Generally speaking, so I went to the first time after having eaten at Popeyes. I told you about that, and of course y'all laughed at me and said, "Of course you're not going to be awake in a few minutes
Can't eat
once you're
Popeyes, then go
done."
see a movie. That's
But I watched it. I watched it and got through a good portion of it. I guess I did fall asleep or in and out sort of asleep and woke up toward the end and got to see the final thing. So I went back and watched it with Carson and got through everything that I had fallen asleep in and started falling asleep toward the final battles and stuff because I already knew what was going on.
right.
And I've not revisited the first movie, so I feel like I want to do that, and but I have the same kind of feeling as Tyrone Magnus has said. There's fun for it, but the first one was a better movie,
I can agree with
according to
that.
the way he said it,
I can
and the
agree with
way
that.
that the way that I would say it is just like there's a lack of story in the movie. There's a plot, there's a thing to do, there's an adventure to go on, but depth of storytelling is missing, like meaningfulness in a lot of stuff. At the same time, I'm thinking, how would you make the characters super meaningful?
I,
It's not like necessarily the Lion King, which
right,
is animated kids movie. It's got what it needs to have, but it
right.
has a really deep story to it, and it's told, very quickly too. Same thing with things like Inside Out or something like that, that that have a depth to them that this is lacking, and this is very much nostalgia. The you know video game references, Easter eggs and stuff like that. It's full of stuff like that. It I don't know if it's fuller or not than like Space Jam 2. That was chock full of, moments is everything WB. But it was an absolutely dreadful movie. In every other way.
I haven't.
But
I've not
I
seen
didn't
Space Jam
dislike
2.
it. Yeah, if you did watch it, there's this huge crowd with like all kinds of characters and
Okay,
stuff, and so you could pause it and sit there and spend forever just picking things
looking
out
through.
and saying,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I see this, I see that." Another thing that has a whole lot of different cameo type things. Player One, Ready Player One,
Oh yeah,
is
I
is
love Ready Player
full
One.
of
I
stuff,
I did not
and I
like.
need to revisit that movie too.
So read the book. Read the book. I have Ready
Yeah, I
Player
need to do
One,
that.
and I am telling you, Ernest Cline. I've said this on my channel several times. He is probably one of the best sci-fi writers in many years. I've read that one and Armada, two excellent sci-fi books. Eh, Ready Player One, if you read the book, you even though I did not like how they handled the first challenge in the movie, but I also understand because that first challenge, when you read the book, it's like, yeah, there's no way they could have. They would have spent hours just on this. Like you the only way to do this is to have a show. So it almost that first challenge almost had to be changed. You could not do it. Well, let me take that back. You could do it faithful to the book. You would have to shorten a lot and move really quickly. And this is where I'm going to tell you what I think of Mario. I think Mario did exactly what it needed to do. Me and Ezekiel talked about this. Like Mario games don't have the deepest plots. They're not
Right? Yeah.
super deep. Like the princess did something, Bowser got her again. No, but they're so much fun. The games are so much fun. The theater that we went in, we all three went to see it. It was filled with families and their kids.
Hmm.
And those kids, we all, adults, kids, all laughed at the exact same times. And I was like, you know what? Smart on them. They made a broad appeal movie for families
Hmm.
and adults. It was fun. It wasn't super deep. Didn't need it to be. It was
Yeah.
fun. And I'm like, yeah, they're going to make a bunch of money. I don't know if they're going to make as much as the first one. They might because it's been doing really good. I think Nintendo understood, look, we don't got to make some super intricate plot. Kids love Mario. They
Hmm.
love the character. There's other characters they love. Make it fun. Just make it fun. Don't
Yeah.
overburden. Don't overburden this movie to be something it doesn't have to be. Now, Zelda, that movie's gonna have an intricate plot. That movie has to have an
Right.
intricate
It's
plot.
kind of what I was thinking. Is there's other properties, and what a rumor I heard, and I think I heard this a while ago, was they're going to cross the worlds of Sonic and Super Mario. I'm like, no, don't do that. That
Yeah,
was this
yeah. I don't.
Sega, and it doesn't make any sense to
I
me.
mean,
They got plenty of stuff to do
yeah.
with Super Mario or with Nintendo. And I don't disagree with that. I do think, of course, because we have examples of it, that there's a way to do a story and make a story,
Mm-hmm.
but somebody would have to write it, and it would just have to be so great that they're like, yes, we can do this and still include it while doing all the other fun stuff. And I do think it's possible. Um, uh, and I'm wondering now, I'm kind of thinking about like Sonic, whether or not that falls in this range. It has more of a kind of story to tell, I think. But at the same time, it seems like as they progressed in the movies, they've gone more toward, what this last Super Mario has been too. It's like just more, this is game. and just enjoy the game, have fun. It's silly, and go with that. And I don't have a problem with either one of them. It's not something that I'm going to watch a multitudes of times because there's just nothing to. Uh, well, I didn't play all the games, so I'm not going to be digging for all of the Easter eggs.
So the
Is one thing.
Don, and
Some
this is
people's going to
where,
have fun with that.
yeah, this is where my kids are older now. And they were like, oh my goodness, I remember playing Super Mario Galaxy and this. And then, oh, I remember playing this. And I'm like, yo, they did exactly what they needed to do. They
Yeah,
reached their target audience. And I think that's they understood. We know our target audience. So when I like there's a lot of older people in our generation, Tyrone Magnus, people like me and you that are like, the plot, it was thin. But once I
and
reconcile,
he was like, I had fun.
yeah,
It's just he
right,
didn't have as much fun as the first one. I think was the idea.
right.
And again, I'd have to revisit it. And
Once I
it seems
understood,
like the same thing to me too.
yeah, once I understood the target audience and sitting in that theater with all of those little kids, the light bulb went off. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
this movie wasn't made for it was made so that an adult can enjoy it. An adult that played Mario can enjoy it, but it was made for the kids to soak it up. And that I'm like, that's the target audience.
true. But this is where I come back where they can do it just differently. Is the Lego Movie 1 and 2 and the Batman Lego Movie? They can have all the wild, crazy stuff that makes all the kids laugh. It's all little Easter eggs, stuff like that, and then also have something in there that's a story that just really hits. And that is still lacking,
I
I
see it,
think,
and I
in
guess
this.
I guess when I look at those movies,
And it
I,
doesn't have to be there.
I don't see like those movies you pointed out, like the Lego movie. Like
You don't think the
personally,
Lego Movie had a deep, touching
no,
thing to
no,
it?
I
Oh
don't.
man, okay.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. That movie was
Oh
it was a
my god.
fun movie. It was a really fun movie, but I did not think, oh, this plot is really, but it was fun. It was fun. It was funny. I love that movie. But I think there's
I'm
this
laughing because my son is in the background screaming at you. He wants to get on the phone call probably now. You said that.
I love the movies. I love those movies, but I
Yeah.
don't think those movies had like some interest. They did have a plot. I agree, and they were more developed than
I'm not
Mario.
even that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely, yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
mainly what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying.
yeah.
And something
Absolutely,
even in
yeah.
them, at least what I think I found, was there something in there there was something deep to
Way more
latch
developed,
on to
right?
in some stuff.
I just
And
understood that
so it can
Nintendo.
be done, and
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was saying. And again, if it's missing from it, it's just I guess my point is that I personally will revisit Lego Movie more times than I would
definitely
revisit the
understandable.
Mario ones so
Yeah,
far. Now, if they
uh,
get in there and they pull in Double Dragon and make a story and tell something that's really great, that would be cool. I think if they could do it,
I think a
like
Star
you said,
Fox movie would
Legend of
be
Zelda.
great. Well, the Legend of Zelda movie is live
It may.
action. Is live action. So that one,
Is
that
that a movie or are they doing a
they're
series?
doing they're doing a
Because I have
movie.
heard of that.
They're doing a
They're doing
movie
a movie.
live action. They
And
already
that's
got
through
the two.
Prime, right?
What'd you say? Uh,
That's with Prime,
M,
right?
M, I think it's MGM
MGM Prime.
Amazon. Yeah,
Yeah,
MGM Amazon.
yeah.
But yeah, that one. If that one doesn't have a plot, they're gonna have a problem with a bunch of Zelda fans. I can tell you that right now because Zelda has intricate plots. So that, but I think Nintendo understands that, and I think again, as I said, I think they understand their target audience.
Yeah.
So they
As long
know.
as they understand that,
Yeah, I think they'll do
yeah,
well.
it'll be
I
good.
think they'll do well. What did you read the
Now,
Spider-Man Superman? I meant to ask you about that earlier. I haven't read that yet or
I
picked it up.
didn't read it. I didn't
Okay,
read it. We got some collectible, I guess, versions of variants and stuff.
okay.
But Yeah, I'm kind of. I didn't actually get a. There was one copy of the regular cover, and do you want to call?
No.
Okay, hold on a second.
No. Thing. Like a movie. First of all, you don't
You
have
just need to.
you don't have to be the dad, and then you are the special. All of us.
Yeah, some of it's actually just silly, man. All right,
I could barely hear him.
I don't know. You can barely hear him.
Yeah.
You are the special, and you don't have to be the bad guy. So, I think there's some other stuff there, and the second one to me too. But anyway, and then Lego Batman is really great. But anyway,
Yeah, look, man, anything with Batman in
um,
it. Well, let me not say anything because George Clooney. We're not gonna mention that Batman movie. We'll pretend that one didn't happen.
yeah, done. Yeah. Um, but no, yeah, I haven't read Superman, Spider Man. I even got I got a special pre-release book. There was like an oversized and had the kind of old artwork. It wasn't like the old picture, or maybe it was. I don't think it was of like something from years ago. But but a lot of collectible stuff. But yeah, I haven't really pulled it out to open it up and go through it. I think I'll go back to the comic book store, see if there's any left over, because there was, at least what I found, like 28 variant covers.
That is so. That's the one thing. Like
Like
I love
so many
variant
covers.
covers, but I've gotten to
There's
the
too
point.
many.
Yeah, and I told the my local comic book shop. I told him in there. I was like, because I was picking up a book and he was like, "Well, all we have is this cover." I was like, "Man, I don't really care. I buy the books to read." I was like, "I don't like what cover I get.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to collect this cover and that cover. I don't care. I don't get. I don't care about none of
Well,
that."
the other thing is that there was is $9 for the regular, and it's like $10 for every variant cover. So, like, oh my goodness, it's
Comic
just too
books are
much.
yeah, comic books are
But yeah, I may go back and just grab one if it's left over, and then read that one. 'Cause like you said, I try to collect the variant. Hopefully, it'll be worth something, you know. But but yeah, I haven't read it. But back to a movie. I did watch another movie. This is a great movie.
okay.
I don't know if it's available with where you're at or not, but a Great Awakening,
I've heard of
which
it.
is about
It is
yeah.
available in one theater like 20 miles from me. Not too far.
Wow,
Yeah. But I
that far away, man.
that's I mean that's not I mean you got
Um,
to realize where
it's
I'm at.
not
That's not really
as
that far.
okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, it should be in the theater, right by me, but it's over on the beach, and it was showing as disappearing Thursday. They were going to be done with it. Apparently, it's making them money because it's going through this next week.
Oh
It's going to
wow.
be around, tomorrow and so forth. They only have it a few showings a day, but it must be making them some money because it's still got it going on.
Why don't I
Um,
see? Let me see. I'm looking
but yeah,
at my local theaters cuz I
it's a
know.
good movie, and it's focused, of course, on Ben Franklin and um, George Whitfield, and George Whitfield being the leader of the Great Awakening.
The Grizzly. I'm looking through these theaters. Yep. It's in a theater near me. Yeah,
Okay.
really close. I might have
Yeah, if
to.
you get a chance, I mean, I recommend it. It's a good movie. Does it pretty well, and it's even more leaning toward Ben Franklin, and it talks about him in such a way that you hear talk about Ben Franklin and his beliefs and stuff like that and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and but it specifically deals with the Constitutional Convention and his recommendation for prayer and what happened to it. And so, just that's of course toward the end, but
Right.
uh, mainly, but not like that's a big spoiler of history. But how he got to write that is how the story goes, and but yeah, it's really good. They did a good portrayal of George
Who
Whitfield, I believe.
who put that out? Let me see.
I say sight and sound is what comes to my mind when I hear it or think about that.
Great
I don't
Awakening.
think it was a main theater, and that wasn't Angel, which
No, I don't think it
kind of glad.
was. Details. Uh, Joshua Inc. History, drama, faith, spirituality. Why is it cast and crew trailers? Why doesn't it have unlikely friend? That's crazy. Typically, if I go on Flickster, I thought it would say. I guess I gotta
It's
search
just
somewhere
Sight and
else.
Sound Productions.
Is it Sight and Sound
Like,
Productions?
Sight and Sound or something. That's that's the main group. Which they were doing something with a play of Noah, I think, and the Ark. Um, and they usually show up like a event. It's there for a few days and then gone. But like I said, this one's sticking around, at least in the theater near me.
Well, it
So
seems to be sticking around here too, because they seem to have a bunch of showings. Let me see. That was Sunday, Monday. Yeah, they got some showings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, bunch of showings actually, and like a couple theaters. So it must be making money. It's probably yeah. I would imagine. You know what I found out? This is what I found out with myself, especially watching movies. The movies that I see that have unknown actors and just random obscure either historical stories or some random stories somebody made. I'm like, man, these are some of the best movies. And I think because the movies are not burdened down with expectations of other things, if that makes sense. Right? Like a movie like this, The Great Awakening. I mean, maybe there's some stars in here that have been in other things, but I don't recognize any of these.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not names I recognize. And I think sometimes when you go, this is why I love superhero movies that pick an obscure actor that just nails the role, because the movie is not bogged down by the baggage of a certain actor, some big name. It's like, oh, there's this new guy. I don't know, but yeah, he killed his role. It was great. I think sometimes people go into a movie, like if there's an actor you just don't particularly care for, like I always bring up, I bring this up comedically. I don't have anything against George Clooney, but it was such a terrible Batman that any movie I see George Clooney and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I won't go see that one. But he's been in some great movies. He's a great actor, but it's just one of those things where his past bogs a movie down for me. Like, I don't know, George Clooney, I don't know.
His past or his current positions or some sort. Anyway, yeah. Uh, but yeah, those I've watched several other movies. I don't know if we want to go over any of them, but um,
anything you're looking forward to in the
I
geek
I
space?
am. I'm looking forward to In the Gray, which is not in the geek space,
In the
but
gray.
it's yeah, In the Gray. It's a now I'm forgetting his name. Did Sherlock movies with
Ooh,
Robert Downey Jr.
Sherlock was
Um,
good. Sherlock
he was
was
the
good.
director, producer of those things. I'm forgetting his name. Um, and he also did the Ministry. I forget it now. It's a
Extraordinary
long
Gentleman.
title.
Yeah,
No,
the
no, it's that long title of the Ministry of um, I forget now.
I don't see. I see in the grayscale. Let me look this up
Um,
because I don't see. I don't see
what is
that.
his name? Man,
I'm looking forward
in
to
the gray.
I'm looking forward to Disclosure Day. I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm sort of looking forward to it, but I don't think I'm going to be impressed by it. Is kind of my
Oh,
thing.
in the
But
gray. Yeah, I've seen previews for this. Yeah.
yeah, what's that director's name?
Hold on, let me go because I was just looking at the in the gray 2026 Guy Ritchie action thriller
Guy Ritchie. That's
starring
it.
starring Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, this does look good. In the gray
Yeah.
looks good.
So that's the main one that's really close. I think that's coming out. But there's something else coming out like this next weekend or two, and I can't remember what it is
I'm
now.
looking forward to the
No,
Michael Jackson movie.
that was it.
Yeah.
24th. It's coming out.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
that one I'm like, yeah. This one
I'm there.
and his nephew, man alive. His nephew looks
I'm trying
exactly
to
like
like
him.
stay away from him from those, all the stuff. And I mean, I've heard that, and at the same time, I've seen them, side by side, and I'm like, they're not, perfect
No.
matches
No, Don.
because, of course, I know what Jermaine looks like too. So I'm like, yeah, he's Jermaine because he is Jermaine's child.
No, Don, you
But
don't understand. They like
no,
it's
I've seen
uncanny.
it. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, and now I'll also say I've seen some of it in some of the behind the scenes and pictures of him just as he was, when he's getting ready for the role,
Right.
rather than like in costume, all made up
Yeah, in the
and
role.
in
Yeah. I
how he
understand.
was. Yeah,
Right,
there's a
right, right.
little difference between it, and that's what I'm trying to stay away from to not get too much of the
Ah,
story
I
and stuff
see.
like that.
I
I want to
see.
know when I go.
You want to go in blind. Go in
Yep, I'm
blind.
looking forward to them making a sequel to it too, because it sounds like they had to cut it short and they couldn't tell some of the story and stuff like that.
So
But
it's funny. Me and Brooklyn were talking about this. Obviously, she didn't grow up at this time. She was like, "Dad, what was it like when you were growing up? Like the fame of Michael Jackson?" I was like, "You have no idea." I was like, "Michael Jackson. I don't know if there's any star that has ever been so big that there was nowhere on the earth he could go, and there was not a crowd ready to run him down." Like there are
yeah,
celebrities that can go to certain places, right? Like there are celebrities that show up to Northwest Florida, they roam around, do their thing, nobody bothers them. Michael Jackson couldn't have done that.
right.
There's no way. There is nowhere he could have gone
I
where
agree.
he would not have been mauled immediately. And that's what I told her. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if we've ever had. I was like, people would see Michael Jackson and faint. Like I don't even
Hmm.
understand what because you saw he looked at you and you fainted. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's like I don't
Yeah.
know. Like he embodied something that nobody else has been able to embody ever.
Yeah. And he kind of transcended a lot of different things. I don't know if you know this that in on the Bad album, there's a song on there's unreleased and released on the 25th anniversary or something of the Bad album, called Abortion Papers. And it's against abortion. I mean, a firm stand against abortion from the man's kind of perspective. It's like, you're
Wow.
gonna go and kill my child? I want my child. No, no, I'm not signing the abortion papers or something like that. I don't know the exactly. You can look up the lyrics, but it's not necessarily a really catchy song, even, but it has a message, and a lot of his songs have these different messages
Yeah, they do.
that's just different than
Some of them, at least.
how I remember other artists. I can read the lyrics to some of these other famous art. songs and stuff that's just like there's nothing in those things, and
Right.
you know, and but a good number of like Beat It had a message to it, and you might have to read behind it, the scenes and say what was he trying to say, and then he's talking about the gang violence and stuff like that, which is what he was addressing,
Right.
and he does it in a very short way, but and then things that he didn't write that were something else, thriller, like he didn't write that, so there's not not necessarily a message behind that one,
He just
but
had he just
there's
had
a good number of them.
yeah, he just had something that I don't understand what it like. I tried to quantify it, and the only thing I could say is if you go back to the 80s, it has a lot to do with the time he came out, the feeling of the songs. Because if you look at songs like uh um Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Tears of Fears, um Human League, I Like It, El DeBarge. This is the era that Michael Jackson came out of. That, 80s pop, 70s disco, and he came out of this, and I think Michael Jackson might have been like one of the first singular mega stars. Like, just
Hmm.
where can you go on the planet Earth that somebody doesn't know who Michael Jackson is? I don't
Right.
know if that's possible. Like, I seriously
Yeah.
don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, we might put him like on par with Elvis or something like that, and that kind of idea. Like,
Yeah, Elvis.
I think
Elvis was.
that's pretty true. About around the world, he's known, you know. But yeah, different kind of music. But yeah, and Michael, of course, endeared himself to the world before that, being in the Jackson Five and the Jacksons. Before going solo, and was already a huge star. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
and his
um,
songs, his music. I don't think like when you think through Michael Jackson's albums, there might be a song here or there where you're like, yeah, this is not my favorite. But even the songs you would say this is not my favorite for anybody else would be a hit. it's
yeah,
like this dude had and his I heard a story. This is a story a producer told. I was listening to this. I think it was in a biography of Michael Jackson. He was like, don't quote me on this because I can't remember the age, like 12, 13, maybe a little older, in the studio, sings, lays down his vocals, comes out of the booth. They play it, and he's like, that's not my voice. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, the voice, it's off. That's not my voice. Like, I recorded that, but that's not me. They're like, what are you talking about? And he was like, you need to check your equipment. And the engineer was like, kid, this stuff has been calibrated time and time again. So finally he kept harping on it. Somebody checked, and they have a calibration tool now. This was reel to reel and all of that. So I don't know the technical details, but they had a calibration tool where they checked the tension, I guess, on the reel to reel, which could change the timing. And lo and behold,
yeah,
it was off. Nobody else in the studio could hear it, but he could. And I was
yeah,
like, bro.
yeah. And I
Like,
I heard like he didn't play instruments, and I want to say he played the piano though, like, or at
he
least he
might have,
could
I
at
don't
some
know.
point.
Yeah.
But like he didn't play a bunch of instruments. I heard it somewhere is that, but he would come in and he would start laying down a beat, or start laying down, beatbox, and putting out the music, and they would just have to capture the stuff, you know, and he would come up with all this stuff. And it's like, and they've produced albums since he passed away. That was just like this was recorded and it wasn't finished, it wasn't completed, the music wasn't put to it. And I've listened to some of those, and a lot of it's like, if Michael was alive to put that out, it wouldn't have been what they put out.
Right.
that you can hear that it's something else. It's from some other artist,
Right.
and he has a and he changed over time, but there's still this distinct sound to him, even through the years, and
Distinctively
it's
Michael. What do you think
and
about
I
the
watch people watch him too, and it's what you said uh, about a lot of different things, but then also his dancing. It's like they'll watch his
Oh,
dancing and be like, "What in
oh,
the world
bro, yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
this?"
He was okay, I tell you what Michael Jackson reminds me of. I think it was the CEO of Blizzard. I think it was the CEO of Blizzard. They asked him, "What's the greatest game of all time?" And he was on Lex Friedman's podcast, and he said it was Zelda Breath of the Wild, and he was like, "What? Like you're the CEO of Blizzard?" He said some games do one thing right, and they're remembered for that thing, right? Like they did this technical thing. And he was like, Breath of the Wild did so many things perfectly that it's like, this is just unmatched. I feel like that with Michael as an artist. Some artists can sing really well in the studio. Live, they're okay. Some artists are great dancers and decent vocalists. They're okay. They'll do. Sing better than most people. They're okay. Michael was the choreographer, the singer, and he wasn't just good, like, oh, he's an okay dancer. No, he was the best. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't just an okay studio singer. He was the best. He wasn't just okay at live performances. He was the best. Like to have all of
yeah,
that in one person, it's just like, man, I don't know how that dude was different. He was different. But
yeah. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna ask. Well, I'll let you say what you're gonna say because I was gonna move to another movie.
I was just the last nostalgia remember. I remember him doing the Super Bowl, and he
Bro,
pops out
of
and
the was the
lands and
scoreboard?
just
Did he pop out of the
well, they
scoreboard
popped
first?
out. They popped out all over
D-
the scoreboard, like
oh
his dancers, and then
man,
he pops out center stage and stands there
and the
for like
crowd
minutes,
goes
crazy,
nuts. I
and then
remember
he
that.
flips his head, and they're going crazy, and
Yeah,
he take and just yes, I remember that I was watching somebody react to it recently, and like,
and I
yep,
think
remember all of that very vividly, and then
and I
he of
think that's
course
the
goes into
birth
it.
of halftime shows as we know it today. I think that was like the birth of that movement because I want to say that
Maybe
they did halftime shows maybe before that, but it wasn't like that. Like
it
Michael
wasn't
Jackson,
that,
yeah, Michael
and
Jackson's
the end
halftime
of
show
it,
was
he was singing "Heal the World," and he had the entire crowd had these placards that created pictures that were drawn by children that filled the stadium seats all around the stadium.
crazy.
Just like,
That's crazy.
wow. How
Yeah,
did that get organized? How did it like everybody participated? There was a different time and he was a different kind of man.
yeah, yeah.
And and I'm hearing biographical stuff about him like afterward in the later parts and stuff. It's like, wow, yeah, that makes more sense. And things that like you hear about the Hollywood problems, pedophilia and stuff like that, and him trying to get children away from that
Right,
stuff
right. Like he was
is
actually
the thing.
trying to save
And it's like,
children. Yeah,
yeah, and then and to hear what's his name, Corey Feldman talk about it, he said, "Yeah, I was talking to the police, and they're like, what about Michael Jackson? Nothing. There's none about Michael. But let me tell you about this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. No, we don't want to hear anything about those guys. Just
right.
Michael Jackson. Like, yeah,
You hear what
like,
Macaulay Culkin said?
oh,
Macaulay Culkin said Michael Jackson saved him from a lot of situations. And I'm like, man,
yeah,
that I mean, you could say this was made up, but this is somebody who knew Michael Jackson very well, spent time with him.
right,
You know what I mean? It's like if I'm look, I wasn't in this guy's personal life. I don't know what he did or didn't do, but based on the testimony of people and even kids that were around him at that time, it's like, man, he doesn't seem like the person that they were trying to, make him out to be. Like you
Yeah,
said, you hear more stuff now,
exactly.
and it's like, yo, he was that dude. He was really that dude. But what I was gonna jump to is, what do you think? What do you make of? I'll end with this because I'm about to get some sleep. What do you make of Avengers Doomsday? There's a lot of information, a lot of leaks. What do
Well,
you think? What do you
yeah,
think
I've
thus far?
avoided some of that too.
Okay,
I
so you've
I have
avoided a lot
avoided.
of it.
I think what we've talked about is like there's been so much stuff that sounds really convoluted to me.
Mm,
Is what I don't like that idea.
mm,
Um, I guess, but that's the idea that is convoluted in that there's all kinds of different worlds that there's stuff. Like he's supposed to be with the Fantastic Four, right? That's where I come from with him. But the theory I heard was he's actually from another universe, not the Fantastic Four's universe that we've been introduced to.
right.
So they're gonna do some crossover with that. Like, why? That becomes convoluted to me. And it's like
Yeah, I understand that.
I think we're going too far with
Yeah.
you got to understand that these things are happening. I'll watch it. I'll be glad to watch it and see and make see whether or not they pull it all off. I'm more anticipating Spider-Man, Brand
Oh,
New Day.
yeah,
Looking forward to
yeah,
that
yeah.
and
That
hoping they
that
don't
that movie
do
looks
anything
like
bad
it's
about
gonna
that.
be really, really, really good. I think right now, I'll end with this. I think the entire MCU right now kind of hinges on Spider-Man. I think initially the
Well, that
MCU.
I think
Mm,
in and Doomsday,
well,
because I
yeah,
think Spider-Man they've already kind of left him out of the garbage because the three movies have been fantastic,
yeah, they have been,
mostly anyway.
they have been, yeah.
Whatever criticism somebody wants to give it, but and I think that this one's going to do really well. But Doomsday to me is maybe going to tell us whether or not they've learned and they've
Mm.
stopped. I've heard that Daredevil is the second season is really good. People didn't like the first season for certain
I
reasons.
thought the first season was
Um,
good. I didn't think it was bad.
I don't think I watched it all. I think a lot of what I was watching, I was like, but um, it's not like the original. Going back and there's just something. But but I've heard better things about the second season. But I think Doomsday is going to tell the story whether or not they've gotten away from what they've been injecting into the movies and making in the series is to make it so distasteful to the vast majority of fans. And hopefully it's not too late if they have turned that around. And hopefully if that happens also, this is the other thing is that if it's really good and it's really successful, they don't then pull back from that and say, okay, we got your money now and we're gonna do what we want to do again.
We've roped
We
you
got
in.
you hooked again. You're gonna check it. You're gonna check the next five movies out. Yeah. Um,
We
that's where
got
I'm
him.
at.
We got him. Yeah.
I'll watch it, but if I will probably not watch it twice if I don't like, because I watched Thunderbolts and I was like,
Mm,
no,
mm.
I didn't care at all.
I didn't see
So
Thunderbolts, but I heard it was good. I heard people say it was decent.
there's
Yeah.
mixed stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff in it I liked, and then there was just too much that I'm like, no, that's just not. And Fantastic Four was better than I expected it to be, but I could see a lot of editing to it, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's like they were trying to do something, they pulled back from it,
Right.
and you know,
It
and
was a
I've
better
already
movie than
come
it
and
would
gone
have
that amount
been
of time.
had they went their original direction. I was
Had
really
yeah, their original direction,
I
but
was
yeah,
really happy with the way they did Galactus. I'm not gonna lie. Like the special effects,
I liked it
them
too.
using practical effects. I was like, yo,
That's one of the biggest I don't know why people criticize that more than they criticize this guy they call Reed Richards in it. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. But
Oh, they criticizing Galactus.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that's
criticizing Galactus
that's
and
odd.
whatever about it. I thought it was pretty good. You
Yeah,
know,
I enjoyed
the
it.
weakest thing in the movie to me was their Reed Richards.
I would
Should have been
agree.
him
I would agree. I said when they
to me.
picked
Anyway,
Pedro Pascal, he doesn't have the right look. I so personally, Reed
I
Richards, I
personally would
expect
have all four of them different, but
I
they
at least
work somewhat.
the thing about it though is if you pick the right Reed Richards, the other characters they still matter, but you can do a lot as long as you have the right Reed Richards. And Pedro Pascal wasn't bad, but Reed Richards is a little more linky than Pedro Pascal. He had this look. He looked Reed Richards is more more science geek and less suave, if that makes sense. And Pedro Pascal is
Mhm.
like more suave and less science geek. And I was like, I don't know if that really works. Like, I don't. I enjoyed the movie, and he did a good job. Pedro Pascal did a good job in that role, but I don't know if I believed him as Reed Richards. I
Right.
was just like, I don't know if hmm, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much him for that one, but that's the direction they went in. So now that they're
Yeah,
either gonna
they decided what they were gonna do.
yeah
So, but we'll see what happens, with X-Men when they introduce them too.
yeah
I just
I'm
hope Doomsday, the way I hear it, is like you bring everybody in and then kill everybody off. It's like what?
yeah it's kind of crazy.
And then what's gonna? I don't even. So I've kind of stayed away from a lot of the spoiler kind of plot leak or whatever happened recently,
I
and
understand.
I didn't even watch to find out if the person that saw it thought it was cool or not. It was like, I watched enough to where I'm like, I just don't want to hear anymore. I want to see what they really put out,
Yeah,
and
going
but
fresh.
I'm really looking forward to. But I know we gotta go, so we're not gonna talk about this much. I'm really looking forward to June 5th, Masters of the Universe.
Yo, okay,
That's where I'm going.
we have to do an individual video on that one because I've heard I'll end with this because I can spend a long time talking about this one. I've heard complaints that are warranted. I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. Right? Like
Okay.
I've heard like I know Tyrone Magnus had a problem with Master at Arms. And I was like, I get it, but look at Heimdall. Like
Yeah,
when we saw
I'll have to rewatch what he says.
yeah, when we saw Heimdall, it's like, well, this is not what Heimdall looked like, but it worked though. It worked. Like sometimes there's things that are changed that if you just go into the movie blind, like, all right, I'm just gonna go in blind and I'm gonna take it, face value what it is. Like, okay, well, okay, this works. Ultimately, what I always say is, I don't want characters to be swapped, race or gender. Just make another character, add some other character into the movie, but keep the characters who they are. But that doesn't mean every time that's done, it's bad. Like sometimes it actually
Right.
works, right? It's not always bad when it's done.
Yeah,
Sometimes it works.
true. Yeah,
So
now, see, I never had a problem with Heimdall, but
yeah,
I wasn't that much of a fan of Thor to know that there was a difference. It just it's a side character to me anyway, and he did great in the role.
yeah,
But
he did. It
yeah, we can
worked.
talk a full a separate show about that.
Yeah, we can
But
do that.
that's one I'm definitely looking forward to.
Okay,
So,
okay. Well,
and I've heard almost nothing actually negative about it. Like everybody seems to be anticipating it highly, even if they have some criticisms. They seem to be like, yes, looking forward to it.
yeah, and I think Tyrone Magnus is looking forward to it as well. I think that was just one of his
Yeah, it sounds like it
criticisms.
too.
Yeah, of that. So
I have to rewatch what he said because I just don't remember it. But he didn't
see,
say anything the last time. So
word up. All right.
good.
I will end with that, sir. And we will come back again next time. Same bat channel.